just got back from grocery shopping. It is time to make lunch. I have the kids kind of help out putting away all of the groceries, and we are all hungry. So I'm thinking of making something really, really easy, and that is rice paper wraps. I think it's gonna be really good and really, really fast. We love making this, so I am going to take you along as we put away groceries and then also make some lunch. On grocery days, the pace is a little quicker. Mornings are filled with errands, and by the time we get home, the kids are hungry, the groceries still need to be put away, and there's that familiar feeling that lunchtime is upon us. But lunch does not have to be complicated. In fact, the best meals are often the simplest, quick to prepare, nourishing, and of course, satisfying. I wanted to really quick share with you a also very easy and quick, simple meal for lunchtime, which is zoodles. If you don't know what zoodles are, it's basically zucchini that is put into this little shredder machine that creates these beautiful ribbons of noodles made out of zucchinis. I'm preparing this zoodle dish for Trey for his lunch. This machine we've had for quite some time now, and it is still working perfectly. It is a manual little hand cranker that cranks out these beautiful zoodles. There's something about the simplicity of spiralized zoodles that work. It really is a healthy alternative to noodles or pasta, but it's still very hearty and satisfying, keeping you full. Also, a tip to making these zoodles spiralize better is to use the largest zucchinis that you could find. The small ones, they don't seem to spiralize as well, so just try to find the fattest zucchinis that you could find at the store and use them instead. For lunch for Trey, I generally like to pair these zoodles with a very easy hemp sauce. You can definitely make a hot, cooked sauce if you like to, but for a speedy lunch, you could definitely try this hemp sauce, which is so easy. I'm also going to decorate this bowl of zoodles with some color. So I've got some cherry tomatoes. I'm also going to chop up some red onions. To make the sauce, which I did not show on here, you're going to add some hemp seeds, add a little bit drizzle of oil, a juice of a lime. You can add a couple cloves of garlic and salt. You can also add cilantro, mint. Today I'm going to add a little bit of parsley in the sauce as well. You can also use some spinach if you have, but the parsley really does help add that herbaceousness into the sauce. It's really, really delicious. All these ingredients are going into a little measuring cup. Add a little bit of water, just enough for the sauce to blend up nicely using a hand blender. Blend it until smooth and you are ready to go. Now I'm preparing a very quick slaw out of cabbage and onions for our rice paper wraps. I am trying to chop our cabbage as thinly as possible, and I'm also going to chop it into smaller pieces this way. Put it into a bowl, and we're going to mix some ingredients in here. If you had some cucumbers, this would also be a really good spot to use some cucumbers for that extra crunch. You can also use red cabbage. You can put in some shredded carrots as well, any zucchinis if you have as well, anything that you could find really. Some bell peppers would be great in this coleslaw as well. To make this coleslaw, we're just going to add some apple cider vinegar. You can use red wine vinegar if you have any vinegar that you have, but we have some apple cider vinegar. Add a little salt, some black pepper, and then we're going to mix it up. Now, I don't know what Emmanuel was doing just eating a carrot, but I tasked him to sort of massage the apple cider vinegar and salt in our cabbage while he's eating his carrot. Massaging it into the cabbage really releases some juices, extra juices from the cabbage, and also softens it up a little bit. The slaw came together in 2 seconds, and now it's done. Moving on to the protein here, I am slicing up a few blocks, maybe a couple of blocks of tofu here. Our plan is to season it up and broil it under a really hot oven broiler for about 10-15 minutes on each side to get it crispy. I have tasked Grace to help me season up our tofu slices. We've just used some smoked paprika. We're going to use some onion powder as well, some salt. Anything that you have would work well. We're drizzling it with a little bit of sesame oil as well. Some cumin would be really nice on here, garlic powder, ancho chili powder for some smokiness as well. You can get fully creative. You can even marinate your tofu slices overnight. But today, because time is of the essence, we are going to make this really, really quick. This slaw is really, really, really good. And it's so easy. That's good. Okay. Put that in. We're gonna broil the tofu for about 5 minutes on each side. It should be cooked really, really quick. And then it's time to roll our rice paper wraps. Everyone's hungry?
This is delicious.
While we were working on the tofu slices, Mercy has completed the sauce. She blended it nice and smooth. This sauce came out perfect. It tasted so delicious. You can spice it up if you want as well. We just left it not spicy. This is our lovely zoodles. It was so easy to make, so quick.
I want to taste it. We're making zoodle for fun.
Yes, it's delicious. Our tofu sat in the broiler for about 5-10 minutes or so. It is now time to flip them over the other side and do the same on the other side so it gets nicely golden brown. This is our lineup. So we've got some slaw, just some cabbage and onions with some apple cider vinegar and salt. We have some lettuce. So I got this kind, which is kind of like a larger leaf lettuce, which you can roll up a little bit better. Of course, our tofu that we broiled, and then we use this brand, which is the Blue Dragon spring roll wrappers that we got at Walmart. All right, so we have a plate of water. This is just, you know, if you could see, there's some water here. We're going to dip this in to soften it. It only takes about like a couple minutes, no, maybe like a minute or so, and then we're going to roll all of our ingredients in. Once the rice paper wraps are softened nicely, you can see that it only takes about a minute or so to soften it up. We're going to add a large piece of the lettuce on the bottom so it captures and wraps all the filling inside nicely. We're going to add 1 slice of tofu. You can of course add more, but I was trying to really stretch out our protein source. Add the slaw on there, and then we're going to wrap it as tightly as possible. You do want to make sure that you are a little bit gentle with the rice paper wraps because they can rip pretty easily. I like to tuck and roll as best as possible. Now this one, our lettuce was quite large, so I just kind of left one of the sides open, and that is one of our rolls. I'm going to give our oldest one to try this out and let me know what he thinks. It's good? While making these wraps, I definitely thought about making sort of a peanut sauce on the side, but honestly, we just had a whole day ahead of us, so I decided to just not make a sauce. The kids will survive. We will survive perfectly fine without a sauce for our rolls. So right now, I am just teaching Mercy how to roll them nice and tight, so that way they can continue to make them as much as possible and as much as we can with all of the ingredients that we have. This is definitely a really fun project or fun activity in the kitchen. If you have little ones, I definitely recommend, getting them involved whenever you're making these. Eat one. Hey, you. Honestly, you could put anything in these rolls. You can put, protein, any kind of protein, lentils, chickpeas. We like to go with more of an Asian-y flavor because it's so good and it's so easy. Make sure that you wrap the the rice wrappers really nice and tight. If you have any herbs like cilantro, mint, it would be really good in here as well. So delicious.
The slaw, this Be a little more sour. Sour? Uh-huh. Still tastes delicious though. You added too much of the stuff. What? But it's kind of like a 9 out of 10.
We, the girls, took turns making all of our rice paper wraps and eating at the same time. So whenever we had them ready, we ate one. We called the kids to come eat one. You know, we just continued to make and eat. Each of us probably had 2 or 3 of these wraps at least. We just couldn't wait. As soon as they were wrapped and done, we were grabbing for the next one. When you do things like this, it also encourages the kids to eat more greens. I've noticed that if the kids kind of make their own food, they are encouraged to eat their own food that they made, like their own little creation. So if you have kids, the little ones, and they don't eat as much vegetables, try this. Maybe they will like this, and you know, you can put as much vegetables as you want. Add some zucchinis in there, add some carrots, anything that you can think of, and then make a little lettuce wrap inside of a rice wrap. We are done with our rolls. Everyone has had lunch. Grace is making the last little bit. Use all of this.
I'll have this one.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in and hanging out with us while we make the speediest lunch ever. We hope that you enjoy this video, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.